Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 9 p.m. English News Edition. Here are the top stories. High-level workshop on the United Nations 2024 report in Djibouti. Workshop to set up a single border post at Galafi and PK 51 point. And for the international news, UNRWA calls for increased aid to alleviate famine in Gaza. The details in this news edition. Welcome to our newsroom, ladies and gentlemen. As I mentioned on these top stories, the President of the National Assembly, Mr. Dileita Mohamed Dileita, received on Monday morning the United Nations Agency Resident Coordinator, Mr. Jose Luis Barahona, who presented the 2024 annual report of UN agencies. This document serves as a strategic reference outlining all initiatives, partnerships and outcomes achieved on national territory over the past year. Following this meeting, the National Assembly organized a high-level workshop dedicated to the presentation of the 2024 annual reports of the United Nations Organization in Djibouti, chaired by Dileita Mohamed Dileita. The workshop brought together members of parliament, representatives of UN agencies, as well as representatives from the World Bank and UNESCO. This event allowed for a detailed presentation of the 2024 annual report, which highlights the results of interventions in the area of health, education, local governance, climate vulnerability, gender equality, and migration flow management. The report emphasized the progress made in implementing the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework 2025-2030, identifies ongoing challenges and proposes areas for adjustment to align joint efforts with the Sustainable Development Goals in accordance with the international commitment undertaken by the Republic of Djibouti. In his speech, Honorable Dileita Mohamed Dileita praised the forward-looking value of this report, calling for a critical and constructive reading of the findings presented by the United Nations Agency. He said, and I quote, "This partnership reflects the United Nations steadfast commitment to national development with a constant focus on the results of the actions implemented over the past year. We have valuable reports that will contribute to shaping the cooperation framework with the United Nations for Sustainable Development for the 2025-2030 period. This event provides participants with accurate information to guide our future action. The UN teams are not merely technical or administrative instruments, they are strategic tools to accelerate progress toward the Sustainable Development Goals." And now we AMP delegation from the Djiboutian National Assembly, headed by Mr. Omar. As the head of the delegation is composed by Mrs. Nouria and Mr. Mohamed Musa, the permanent member of the Djiboutian National Assembly to the African Parliamentary Union, took part in the 30th session of the Executive Committee of the African Parliamentary Union, held in Rabat, Kingdom of Morocco, on May 21st. The session was held in the presence of senior MPs from member states of the African Parliamentary Union, giving the meeting a high-level diplomatic significance. The African Parliamentary Union continues to affirm itself as a strategic platform for dialogue, consultation, and the exchange of experiences between African parliaments, with the goal of promoting the values of unity, democracy, and sustainable development across the continent. And now a strategic workshop was held this morning at the Kempinski Palace to officially launch the preparatory work for the establishment of a one-stop border post at Galafi and the 51-kilometer points, two key locations along the trade corridor between Djibouti and Ethiopia. The workshop chaired by the Ministry of Infrastructure and Equipment, Mr. Hassan Mohamed Ibrahim, and brought together numerous stakeholders, technical experts, and security personnel. Among the participants were Mrs. Aisha, Director of Trademark Africa, and Mr. Abdi Ibrahim Farah, Director of the Djibouti Port Corridor Company. This initiative, financially supported by the European Union with a contribution of 32 million euros, aims to enhance the competitiveness of regional trade by equipping the border post with modern and integrated infrastructure. And now listen the address. Let's listen the address of the director of Trademark Africa, Mrs. Aisha Abdullah.
Avec un réel enthousiasme de prendre la parole aujourd'hui à l'occasion de cet atelier de validation des besoins.
I am very pleased to speak today at this need assignment workshop, a crucial step in the project to improve infrastructure at the border and at the crossing border. This project is being implemented with the financial support from the European Union and the French Development Agency. This project is part of a vision to promote regional integration in the Horn of Africa. The project aims to transform the border post into a true single-site border post. I also welcome the active participation of the resident and pointing out the expectation should serve as a guide for selection. I would also like to pointing out that this workshop does not represent the final destination, but rather a structuring phase of the process. Your recommendation will inform the detailed infrastructure design, help guide the technical choice, and ensure the relevance of the future investments.
And now the Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, Mr. Hassan Ahmed Ibrahim, emphasized the critical strategic importance of the Kalafi border crossing.
Permettez-moi tout d'abord d'exprimer ma profonde gratitude à chacun d'entre vous pour votre présence et votre disponibilité.
Let me begin by expressing my deep gratitude to each of you for your presence and availability to respond to our invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, the main objective of this workshop is to identify the axis of need for conducting technical studies and design for future works at the PK50 checkpoint and the border crossing. It is important to highlight that the corridor is currently in the final phase of rehabilitation will experience a significant increase in traffic in the coming months. Indeed, the deteriorations of road condition due to these attacks has led to a degree studies which will focus on the design and establishment of integrated administrative block aimed at bringing all control service under one roof.
And now the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development and UNICEF have signed a partnership agreement extending over the next 4 years. In this context, an MOU was signed today, Monday, at the Office of the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development between Minister Mohamed Abdul Qadir Musa Halam and UNICEF representative Mrs. Pierre Distel in the presence of senior officials from both parties. The agreement covers the cooperation program for the period 2025 and 2019 with a plan of 2025-2026. The cooperation program signed between the Ministry of Environment and UNICEF aims to implement a range of measures to reduce environmental and social vulnerability and climate change impacts. This represents an important step in strengthening climate change mitigation activities based on the needs and expectation of children and youth. The Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development welcomed this emerging partnership, which is expected to expand further in the coming year, and thank the UNICEF representatives for her steadfast commitment alongside the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development. Yesterday morning, the chairman of Djibouti Sport and Free Zones Authorities, Mr. Bakar Omar Hadji, officially launched the third edition of the Sea Star program in collaboration with China Merchants Group at Red Sea World. This program, titled Innovation and Entrepreneurship for Youth, aims to empower young entrepreneurs across Africa. The event was attended by Mariam Hamadou Ali, Minister of Digital Economy and Innovation, His Excellency Hu Bin, Chinese Ambassador to Djibouti, Miao Janin, Chairman of China Merchant Group, and Philip Clark, Deputy Resident Representative of UNDP. Since its inception, the Sea Star program has trained 55 participants who have already benefited from its initiatives. This year, the program welcomed 31 outstanding young entrepreneurs from 15 African countries spanning East, Southern, and West Africa, with 35% of the participants being women. The Sea Star program seeks to build a sustainable ecosystem that fosters talent development and inclusive economic growth. This edition will focus on enhancing participant skills through comprehensive training sessions, workshops, personalized project support, and networking opportunities with international investors and incubators. This third edition of C-STAR program once again marks an important milestone in promoting innovation and entrepreneurship, reinforcing Djibouti's commitment to placing youth at the heart of its economic development and paving the way for a better future for young African entrepreneurs.
We are going to embark on brand new journeys with support of these programs. And also express my sincere thanks to the representative of the government and authority of Djibouti, especially to Mr. Chairman, the DPFJ, and Madame Ministère Déléguée chargée de l'économie numérique, de l'innovation, and the other partners such as the Center of Leadership and Entrepreneurship, and also the UNDP at Djibouti.
In his opening remarks, Chairman Abubakar Umar Hadi emphasized the DPFZA's commitment to providing youth with the tools necessary to innovate, create, and succeed. Let's listen to his words.
It's a great honor for me to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of this third C-STAR Djibouti Training Group. Today marks yet another milestone in our shared journey to foster innovation, entrepreneurship, and cross-cultural collaboration. Allow me to begin by expressing first my sincere gratitude to His Excellency, the President Ismail Omar Guelleh, the President of the Republic of Djibouti, for his unwavering support and visionary leadership. His guidance shines brightly through the Vision 2035, a transformative roadmap that champions the emancipation of African youth and the power of entrepreneurship as a cornerstone of our future. I also extend my hair-lifted thanks to China merchant groups, all our partners, on their steady dedications on this meaningful program. Your investment in innovation, leadership, and on youth empowerment is recommendable. What many people they don't know about China Merchant. China Merchant is the oldest company in China. Shema Mio mentioned 153 years old. But next year, they are going to be, next December, they are going to be 154 years old company. That's our partner, as a Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority. So this program, since it started in 2022, the C-STAR program has been a platform where ideas and transforming impactfully reality. More than 55 African countries have worked with this path before us. Today, we are proud to welcome 31 outstanding youth entrepreneurship from across 15 countries in Africa. From East Africa to South Africa, to the northern part of the continent, to the west part of the continent. Also, we are delighted to announce that 35% of the participants are young women. So gender is respected. It's not because we are trying to promote them, because they are talented. 35% out of the 31 are women. So this shows our commitment to inclusivity and to fostering an environment where everyone can lead, innovate, and succeed. To all the youth entrepreneurs gathered here today, I want you to take this opportunity with both hands and all your heart. You are the architect of tomorrow, and the future belongs to those who are there and dream and act boldly. Let me close my wishing of the 2025 C-STAR training camp immense success. May this experience give you valuable knowledge, inspire transformative ideas that will last a lifetime.
The Minister Mariam Hammadou Ali highlighted the program's alignment in Djibouti's national strategies for digital transformation and economic inclusion.
C'est pour moi un grand plaisir de prendre la parole à l'occasion de la cérémonie d'ouverture, et c'est depuis
It is a
la
great
première-
pleasure to speak at the opening ceremony, and those since the first edition. I congratulate the initiative of the C-Star program, bringing together for this third edition 33 young talents from 18 different countries, which perfectly illustrate the innovative and entrepreneurial dynamic career by the youth of the continent, and which position Djibouti as an attractive regional hub for African startups. I am all the more delighted that this third edition of the C-Star program reflects and strengthens the collaboration with the CLI Leadership and Entrepreneurship Center, which will welcome the beneficiaries during their training courses. My department has always wanted and encouraged private initiative, and this synergy can only benefit our innovation ecosystem. In accordance with the roadmap set by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margeli, we will continue the reform necessary to boost the entrepreneurship and innovation of the ecosystem, so that the young Djiboutian can play their part in the new revolution underway, particularly in the development of the artificial intelligence.
Now, the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General of the Army Corps, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim Bokh, received today at the Directorate General of International Relations of the Djiboutian Army His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Nasser Besaklia, Ambassador of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, accredited to Djibouti since October 17, 2024, for a courtesy visit. This cordial meeting was part of bilateral exchanges aimed at strengthening the fraternal relations between the Republic of Djibouti and the Algerian Republic. Both officials highlighted the strong historical ties that unite the two nations. During the discussions, the General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim and His Excellency the Ambassador emphasized the need to further enhance military cooperation between Djibouti and Algeria, particularly through the sharing of expertise, training, and institutional exchanges between the armed forces of both countries. As the relentless heatwave continues to grip the country, almost as if determined to break all records before the official start of summer, a pressing question literally burns on the minds of the population. How can we survive these extreme temperatures without losing our mental balance or vital salts in our bodies? For those with chronic health conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, or kidney disease, finding the right answers is even more crucial, as the risks associated with heat are significantly heightened. Health professionals are issuing urgent warning amid this soaring heat. While staying hydrated by drinking plenty of water is essential, it is far from sufficient on its own. What we eat plays a vital role in maintaining our body's balance and protecting us from the potentially dangerous effect of heat stress. Ultimately, navigating this period of intense heat requires a holistic approach combining adequate hydration, mindful eating, and careful management of existing health conditions. By doing so, individuals can better protect themselves against health-related illness and maintain their well-being through the hottest month of the year. Indeed, just like in other regions of the capital of our country, the BEF, Basic Education Certificate exams, began on Sunday, May 25, across all examination centers opened in the Ali Sabeh region. A total of 772 students are scheduled to take the written BEF exams. These candidates are distributed among 4 exam centers, 3 of which are located in the sub-prefecture of Holhol and Ali Adde. A delegation led by the Deputy Prefect of the Ali Sabeh region, and Interim Prefect Mrs. Saida Wabri Assowi, accompanied by the Vice President of the Regional Council, Mr. Noor Said Gildon, the Regional Inspector, Mr. Mohamed Aden, members of the Education Supervisory Team, and commanders of the law enforcement agencies. The students were well received, and the exam started on a schedule. All teachers called upon for supervision were present at their post, and no incident were reported. The exam president, the heads of the centers, and members of the secretary took the necessary measures to ensure the proper organization of the exams. Finally, the head of the delegation wished the candidates every success. It's well noting that the exams the exams were on all the region of the interior, from Ali Sabeh, Arta, Dekhil, and all the way to the north. Uh, And now we go into the north, where, like in other regions of the country, the 2025 session of the Basic Education Certificate took place on Sunday, May 25, as I said, in the Tajura region. The exams were held in 7 examination centers: Tajura, Randa, Adailu, Dora, Sagalu, Dai, and Buya. A total of 527 candidates sat for the exams, with Buya Center participating for the first time in this session, marking a significant milestone in expanding educational coverage in the region. The exams were conducted smoothly thanks to rigorous coordination and gathering of educational and administrative stakeholders. Local authorities honored the opening of this session with their presence, including Mohammed Hamid Abbas, prefect of the region, Mr. Mohammed Omar Abdul Qadir, Vice President of the Regional Council, Captain Elmi, Head of the Tajura Police, representatives from the Gendarmerie and Customary Chiefs. Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim, Regional Education Inspector in Tajura, expressed his sincere thanks to all the dignitaries and institutions that contributed to the success of this event, especially the Prefecture and the Regional Council, for their ongoing support of education in the region. And now from May 17, 2024-2025, an important delegation from Djibouti, led by the President of the Regional Council of Oboh, Mr. Mohamed Hamid Ismail, traveled to Senegal for an exchange mission focused on the management and valorization of plastic waste. The delegation included Mr. Elmi Bouh Gulade, President of the Regional Council of Arta, Mr. Mahdi Mohamed Jama, Director of the ADDS, the Director General of OVD, Mr. Shamarki Yusuf Musa, Mrs. Ferdousa Ahmed, the Director of Prospective and Territorial Development, Mr. Jean-Jacques, UNICEF representative, as well as heads of road agency from Dekhil, Oboh, Ali Sabih, Hayo. The mission aimed to promote the exchange of best practices around sustainable waste management and plastic recycling, while strengthening the capacities of the actors involved in this sector in Djibouti and exploring ways to create synergy among them. And now for the international news, Africa Day 2025. Africa, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, was highlighted in a mission on Africa Day that the continent continues to progress steadily despite the painful historical struggles.
Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, stated in a message on the occasion of Sunday's celebration of Africa Day that the continent is being built slowly but surely and continues today to make sacrifices in order to free itself from the throes of conflict and underdevelopment. The commemoration of Africa Day on May 25, 2025, this year, under the theme Justice for African and People of African Descent Through Reparation. It is a moment of remembrance and communion among all Africans. Certainly, memories and a history often painful, both ancient and contemporary acts of the African Union is positioning itself with strength and determination on the international stage.
It was the highlight in the message on Africa Day, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mr. Mohamed Ali Yusuf. And now the United Nations Relief and Works Agency urgently called for the entry of hundreds of aid trucks into Gaza.
Gaza is in serious need of humanitarian aid. The minimum need is 500 to 600 trucks per day, including those managed by the UN and UNRWA, the UN agency clarified. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees called on Sunday for the entry of hundreds of aid trucks into Gaza Strip to alleviate the famine in the war-torn enclave. A significant and uninterrupted flow of aid to Gaza is the only way to prevent the current catastrophic situation from worsening, the UN agency said in a statement. The minimum need is 500 to 600 trucks per day managed by the UN, including the UNRWA, representing less than 1% of the population is a basic need.
And now in Madrid, following the escalation of Israeli military operation in Gaza, Madrid hosted a meeting of about 20 countries and international organizations, including Arab and European states.
Meeting of European and Arab countries in Madrid, Spain, advocates sanctions against Israel following the expansion of Israel military operation in Gaza. Several countries considered by Israel to be allies have added their voice to the growing international pressure to end the war in Gaza. The few supplies Israel has allowed in recent days falls short of what is needed. Madrid is hosting 20 countries and international organizations to discuss ways and means to end the Arabia and Turkey, as well as Ireland and Norway, which have recognized the existing of Palestinian state.
This is it for this 9 p.m. English News edition. Thank you for